Well, hello there, Retro PC Durham. It's Chris here with the next part in our adventures in building this Windows 98 PC. Uh, when we last finished up, we installed Windows 98 onto the computer, but obviously, drivers needing to be installed, etc., was something that needed to be worked out. And we also wanted to look at troubleshooting the mouse, since the PS2 mice didn't seem to be working, but luckily enough I did have an old serial connected based mouse, so that one worked fine. So there's something not working right with that we have to figure out, and hopefully we can get all of that ironed out today. So in between, I took the flash storage device out of the computer and put it on my main computer and copied over all of the driver files into a folder. So we're going to start up and see where we left off, getting the rest of this worked out. The monitor is already on here. The computer's got everything plugged in. We're probably going to get the alert. I didn't remove the Windows 98 CD, so we might get the, like, hey, what do you want to boot from alert again. We're going to pick to boot from hard disk and get Windows 98 started up. So I think the first thing we'll do is take care of getting all the drivers, I think, installed, making sure that that actually copied over correctly. And then we'll work out the mouse thing secondly, I think. Yeah, that's the plan. All right, I'm going to close this window here, and we are going to open up our Windows Explorer. I think we're going to open up Windows Explorer. Yes, we are. And we're going to see if my folder actually worked. Yes, so this folder here, Win98PC, that's got the files in it. You'll see when I plugged this into my computer, for some reason it added, I don't know if this Backup Pro, I'm sure that maybe that must have been part of the Windows install, but then DCIM, POM, like all this POM stuff, I don't even know what this is. Like, maybe the version of Windows that I installed here, like, what are these? Just random photos? Looks like a cat? I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on here. It's a picture of a guy singing. Not sure. Not sure what's going on with this. Nickelback songs? I wonder if wherever I downloaded this version of Windows 98 from, right? Because from the previous episode here, I had to quickly download a copy of Windows 98 and burn it onto a CD-ROM because the DVD, I didn't have a DVD-ROM drive installed, and the version of Windows that I had ready to go was on a DVD. I wonder if the version of Windows 98 that I downloaded here was just someone's, like, ripped hard drive, and it had, like, music on it. Very strange. Okay, well, it's like me getting one of my donated PCs and going through and someone leaving all their stuff on it, and it's like someone's old computer data. Like, is there stuff in my documents? Like, okay, I don't know. So we're not going to worry about not going to worry about that anymore. My goodness, I'm getting sidetracked like crazy. So what I have here is drivers for the system board, drivers for that NVIDIA graphics adapter, and then as well as drivers for the LS120 Super Disk and for the Sound Blaster. So I think the first thing we're going to try to do is we're going to install the drivers for the system board first and see how that goes. So AFlash221 is a BIOS update, so we're not going to worry about that right now because we actually would need to go and check the BIOS to make sure it's actually the right version. But we can install the, what can we start with here? The AGP driver. Let's see how this goes. And again, installing these drivers is I guess is optional, because if Windows picked things up properly, then they're going to be okay. But I want to try and get this thing with as much good stuff in here as possible. I don't... So that's the audio driver. Oops. Too far. What version of Windows am I on here? Again? A little bit of a lag there. So we do have Win98 2nd Edition installed here. So if we install the Windows 98 SE, I don't even have an install for this, so maybe we'll just skip it for now. And the IDE controller, we'll install this. But so as I was saying before I diverged myself, the reason why I want to install the drivers is it just ensures that there's not going to be, if there's going to be IRQ issues or there's going to be anything like that going on, that it hopefully won't happen, because those drivers have been installed and know how to talk to each other. We will do a restart. I'm going to open up the CD-ROM drive here actually and take this Windows 98 disk out for now. That will speed up the boot process, and then we'll do our restart. So wait for that to come back. Uh-oh. That doesn't look right. Disk boot failure. Insert system disk and press enter. Why am I getting a disk boot failure? Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure that out. I think that may be a BIOS setting issue. We will reinsert our Windows 98 CD for now. And choose to boot from hard disk. I think what's going on here is that the BIOS settings, I may have set it to boot the from the CD-ROM drive first instead of the hard drive, and it's somehow in this older BIOS saying, hey, well, if I can't find a CD to boot from, I can't boot at all. So we'll have to take a look at that as well. Oh, we have new hardware found. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Our SIS accelerated graphics port has been found, which is good. And again, I wanted to install that to ensure that the best drivers and connectivity were in place. So when I install the drivers for the NVIDIA card, there aren't any resource issues as a result of that. So we now have that installed. We will get our Windows boot logo. Again, I'm going to let it come up every single time because once I get the sound and everything working, I want to hear that song. Set up complete and set up the HD info. Great. Great. Whatever that means. I'm sure that's just providing some kind of hard drive info utility. We'll take a look at that afterwards as well to see how that looks. Okay, we go back into our W98 PC folder. We are going to install our graphics adapter now. So I've got my NVIDIA graphics adapter information here. I see a setup.exe. There it is, our Windows 98, 95, and ME display driver setup. So we'll get this up and running next. Okay. I expect this should go relatively quickly. It's all working off that flash adapter. Uh-oh. Um, why, why are you not, why are you not progressing, little guy? Are you waiting? Are you waiting for something? Because you should have everything you need there, dude. Well, we'll give this a couple minutes, I guess, to figure out if it's just hanging or if it's crashed. There we go. It was just doing a lot of thinking here. One of the things I do remember from working on the Windows 9X era of PCs is the Windows of this time, its ability to handle um, timeouts and processor conflicts was not great. I mean, when you think about especially the going from the DOS Windows, the DOS environment, right, which was a single execution environment, and then the competition of the time, what Apple was doing, and then something like OS2, where you had these multitasking operating systems that, they were niche, right? Apple obviously only being on Apple, and OS2 pretty much only being on IBM PCs, and then Windows being this one that took over the market. But from my memory, it was probably the worst of its time, in terms of operating systems, of being able to be a good multitasking operating system. Obviously, that's not the same now. Things have changed a lot. The Windows XP, everything based on the NT kernel is a completely different operating system that is functions the way that Windows should function. Additions and eras, additions of it from Windows 2000 all the way to the current Windows 10. Some like them, some hate them, but definitely this older ones. What a difference. Okay, I'm gonna do a restart, and we're just gonna do a flat out restart now. As I mentioned, I want to get all of the drivers installed first and know that that's working properly, and then we're going to go pop in and spend a minute in the BIOS. I should have gone into the BIOS first, but we were already past that, when we started up the computer. By the time the screen had warmed up enough to be able to tell us what we were doing, we were past that. So I figured, well, don't bother. Thinking, thinking, thinking. Now we'll see if we have any improved graphics coming up here. I'm assuming, is Windows going to do a I found something? Yeah. No. Updating system settings. We'll see if we have a resolution change. I'm hoping we're going to get that beautiful resolution change on this StudioWorks 5D monitor to be able to get it up to higher screen quality. Okay. I think that looks better. Yes. I'm almost positive that the resolution has improved from what it was on the last boot. Let's get, oh, look at that, we've got some, I'm going to close this window here. Let's take a look here. We've got NVIDIA display, LG Electronics analog display. It's the gold star, I guess, yes. Active desktop information, ooh, okay, so let's go to properties. Let's go to our settings. And see here, we've got our display. We're going to go to 32-bit color and 1280 by 1024. Is that going to let us do? Wow, take a look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, that's really nice. I like it. I like what I'm seeing here. 1280 by 1024. Very nice. Now, I should probably check. Should we check this? StudioWorks 5D monitor. Is that the optimal resolution? The 1280 by 1024 is supported, but it looks like if we set it down to 1024 by 768, that you can actually move up the refresh rate on it. That might be worthwhile. Let's check that out. Let's check out if we can do if we bump the screen resolution down to, no, that's not what I meant to do. I meant 1024 by 768. by 768, and then we want to see if we can find a refresh rate. Yeah, look at that. Let's bump this refresh rate up to 75 hertz. Now, you will probably notice this difference a lot more than I will, because the flickering from the screen will be happening differently, which may actually be a reason for me to consider changing this, because if I go back, patience, if I go back to 60, you will be getting a different pattern of the flicker. So maybe what we'll do is we'll keep it at the 60, because I think it might actually be less irritating. Less irritating. All right, next up, we will install our LS120 driver. Okay, apparently those are not valid, so we won't install LS120 drivers. But the LS120 drive apparently is working. That doesn't seem to be a problem. If I grab a random floppy disk and insert that into my goodness, the loud, and it is D. It seems to be working. Seems to be working fine. Create a quick disk. Seems to be working fine so far. It's a pretty chuggy sounding drive, but it's not there's no grinding noises or anything like that coming out of it, which is usually a sign that there's something terribly wrong with it. And speed-wise, I don't know. I guess I probably should install a floppy disk drive in this as well as the super drive. Maybe then we can see what the difference is in terms of speed, reading and writing. Because this doesn't feel like it's faster. Maybe my memory doesn't serve me correctly that for LS120 drives it wasn't the write speed that was faster. It was the read speed that was faster. I wonder if that's what it was. Yeah, they can read up to 5 times faster. But that doesn't mean that they can write up to 5 times faster. Ha 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 ha. Yes, that was the big difference. Okay, well, while this is finishing up, what we can do is, can we go back to, no, can't, can we? Can't go back to the window here. We will have to wait. I could try opening up a second window, but I would worry that I'm actually going to end up making something bad happen. I'm so nervous. All right, are we done? There we go. So we completed all that to install command.com. Okay. And we will eject that floppy disk now. Experiment complete. LS120 drive works fine without any additional drivers required. My goodness. Okay, now we'll check out the Sound Blaster here. So we're gonna go with the. I guess I have to install. The Sound Blaster Live drivers. Where's my drivers? Is this the right one? This one's is DOS. Do we install the DOS drivers first? Not enough disk space on target drive while attempting to copy file. Oh no. Oh no. Please don't tell me. Am I out of disk space on this drive? Did I not I've got 292 megabytes left. There should be more than enough room. You know what we'll do? Let's take this DCM and send it to the recycling bin. And let's take Palm and send it to the recycling bin. And yeah, okay. So that's better. Oh my goodness. What a silly Billy. Okay, let's try installing this again. Like, why was it? I'm not sure why I was getting that error. Again, it's doing the same thing. It's why it's not That's weird. Okay, we'll try the Sound Blaster Live. Is it this? Update driver Windows 98? Let's see if this works. The last thing we can do is I can just go in through the device manager and attempt to install the drivers through device manager. Because this does not seem to be working and doing what it's supposed to be doing. I bet the Sound Blaster DOS, maybe the problem with that is I actually have to do the installation for that in DOS, in a DOS window, like restart the machine in DOS mode. Okay, what's going on here now? I don't have... There it is. Okay, I was wondering what was going on. Why is it taking so long? But oh, PCI multimedia audio device. Our creative Sound Blaster Live value card is recognized and now getting installed. So, with any luck, we'll actually have sound coming to these beautiful stereo speakers on this StudioWorks 5D monitor. I'm hoping that that is going to be the case, because that's obviously the whole point of having this wonderful setup, is to have these components all working together. There's our Sound Blaster 16 emulation. I'm pretty sure when I looked up online, said that this card will do all the things it needs to do and functions very well as a DOS compatible sound card. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to put it in out of the like 3 or 4 that older sound cards that I have. Okay, it's hard to tell if this is done or not. Do we need to do a little screen adjustment here? I feel like we need to do some screen adjustments here. That feels better. That feels better. Can I leave now? How do I leave? There we go. Okay. I believe we're done with sound. If we go and check out the control panel now. We may need to restart. I didn't get a prompt after doing that pickup to ask for a restart. So this PCI multimedia audio device is the onboard audio. I can go ahead and install that anyway. So we've got the Sound Blaster Live working. That's fine. Okay, we're going to do that last one. We're going to install the last piece of driver on here. Do you hear that? Did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? Listen very carefully. You might not be able to hear it over the that great? Okay, so what am I... Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bother to try and install that. I'm going to do it through... I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one through Device Manager. And we're going to grab the drivers for this. I'm going to say search for a better driver. We're going to search in a specific location. That specific location is going to be this location right here. And we'll let that do its pickup. We're not going to use this audio device, obviously. We don't have the speakers plugged into it. However, having it installed correctly will ensure that it's properly resourced and set up so that it won't cause any problems. And then if there are going to be other problems, I can also disable it in the Device Manager and know that it's not going to be doing any wonky stuff. Finish. All right, look at that. We have no issues. We have no issues. Graphics are good. Sound is good. Let's do a restart. And hopefully, when this boots back up, we will hear some wonderful music. Need to have a proper shutdown. What are you doing, guy? Why are you not shutting down? Hello? I guess maybe something wasn't quite finished installing or setting up. Maybe it's trying to finish closing out an instruction before it starts back up again. Dude, hello? I hate to hit that reset button, but again, we'll give it a minute. You know, and you'd figure a system like this, right? We've got a what was this? This was a Pentium 4 processor, and that it would be just blisteringly fast, and it's obviously not. Now, this could be one of the problems that I thought that we might have would be with memory, in that having that 256 megabyte chip may actually be causing problems for Windows, because it's more memory than Windows is really capable of addressing properly. 192 is really the most that you should put in. So we might have to take a look at this and say maybe we need to pull it out. I think I have a 128 megabyte chip that we can put in its place, or a 64, and either of those will be obviously still more than enough for a Windows 98 PC, but we may need to do that, because if it's memory that's causing the problem here, where it's got these kind of hang-ups where Windows threw something into memory and now it's having trouble finding it because, you know, that extra bit of memory after the 192 is you know, not being read properly. Yeah, we're gonna hit the reset button and just hopefully we don't have any issues from applications not installing or uninstalling or whatever correctly. And when we get back into Windows here, we're gonna hear that beautiful Windows 98 music. And then we'll go back and check the BIOS. So this should be the last time we have to boot. Yeah, this should be the last time we have to boot with the Windows CD installed. So those will be the game port and game port joysticks for the onboard audio. Which again, we're not going to be using, but at least they're properly found and recognized. And now, let's load that desktop. My heart just like did a little thing. Oh yeah. It's 1998. Oh man, that is a trip. Oh, I can't even talk. That alone, that alone has been worth all of this. This entire project, spending all of this time putting this together and setting it up, all of it is worth it just to experience the nostalgia right now of getting that going. Wow. Wow. I hope it felt good to you too. I hope it did. So I guess we're done. We're done. We're all finished here. With regards to the Windows setup. So the last thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna do a shutdown here, and we're gonna go check the BIOS settings. So this will power down, and then we'll power up. And I think it was F2 to get in to the BIOS. Delete to enter setup. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this and go to advanced information we don't need to worry about. Power we don't need to worry about. Boot. Okay, so this was the problem right here. When I was initially starting to do the install, I don't remember why I set it up like this, but we did. We changed the we changed all of these, so we got to put them all back now, right? So LS120 drive, That's other boost device. We don't have another boot device. We don't need to worry about that. And then we do plus and minus to move these down, right? So we can move this down. So we're hard drive, CD-ROM drive, LS120 drive is our installation. I should now be able to get that out of the way. And then the other thing I want to do is, let's take a look and check here. Floppy, yeah, we got to change this to none because I don't want you to be looking for a floppy disk drive. And that should be everything? Yes, that's everything. Okay. We can now restart the system. Error-free. There is no longer a floppy drive showing up. Windows is now loading without any boot errors. And we should be fine. And let's listen to that. Let's listen to that Windows 98 start up one more time. The last time the sound played before the desktop loaded, so there wasn't really a visual cue. There we go. You can just picture like Steve Ballmer and all those guys dancing up on the stage. Every time I hear this, that's what goes through my head, is this picture of them doing the dance. Well, I hope you've enjoyed going on this journey with me. If you watched all the videos getting us to this point, I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. In the meantime, I hope, as always, you are staying safe and staying healthy in these uncertain times. And I will catch you in the next one.